Well, guys, obviously I have known the wonderful person sitting to my left for, I'm not going to reveal the number of years.
Bless you.
You're welcome. Mom taught us well, but quite some time. And now I am really fortunate to have her a part of the Littlefield company. And she's been doing great so far. She's picking up more responsibility than I thought possible or thought she could, and especially impressing my father. So that's a big win.
I mean, truly the biggest win is impressing the one and only Larry Littlefield.
I know. And so, Corinne, taking this away is going, why don't you give a little introduction on who you are?
Sure.
You know, what's been happening in the world, and tell all of our incredible 2 followers on what you got going on.
Sure. Well, yeah, I'm your sister. So
Thanks.
High level sister. I come from the world of theater. Duncan finally wrote me into being part of the Littlefield company about 5-6 months ago. Feels like longer, but something
right.
like that. But I worked in theater and dance for my professional career. I was an actress and a choreographer, and then finally was like, you know what, let's get into some producing, and you wrote me into this, and here we are.
I know, and I'm not going to say that I'm the smartest one in the room because I've been trying to have you do this for a while, but...
You've been trying to cast the line and reel it back in.
And I finally set the hook, and it worked out. So, yeah. So I know. So on today's pod, we have a few questions that are going to go back and forth. So I'm going to set Corinne up here, tee her up for my past world for the first question. Corinne, throw it out.
Well, we figured since you are Duncan To Go.
Facts.
To go. The audience should know a little bit about you, and since we're going to be trying to ask the same questions to everyone, we might as well get them to you. So
let's have some fun.
First and foremost, if you were a type of pizza, what kind of pizza would you be?
I'd be a pretty simple one, to be fair. I mean, obviously we'd have to go gluten-free crust, but you know what? It's one of those things right now. So if I was a type of pizza, you know, maybe I would go a pretty standard like New York slice. But what would happen on that slice, I would add pepperoni. I would also add banana peppers. And
bold.
That's
bold
my
move.
call. So New York style, banana peppers, pepperoni on it. And if it's really like, for me, a little side of marinara for a dip, I'm all about it.
A marinara dip, not like a ranch dip or something?
No ranch, none of that.
But if you're dipping pizza, like go for like a garlic aioli.
I mean, you're not wrong. You can also go the pesto route and a few other, but I'm just a little bit of extra marinara guy. I'm a purist. I'm an imperfection purist because I'm adding things to the New York style cheese pizza.
Which is already the perfect piece of pizza.
Which is my
Sorry,
point.
Chicago. New York beat you.
It's just different. It's just different.
Different.
They're both good. They're just different. It's like you go to Detroit. It's not a hard pass for me, but I can live without it.
I've never been to Detroit.
It's good.
Is it?
It's thicker.
Are they known for pizza? I mean, we grew up in Connecticut, which is like somewhat known for pizza in a weird way.
New Haven. Like, arguably, I don't want to say not the capital of, but like old school traditional pizza.
Yeah, like the white sauce clam pizza.
There's like 3 spots in New Haven that are well-known, world famous. And if you go, you know...
New Haven isn't known for much besides Yale pizza and weird crime.
I was going to follow up with crime, and I didn't know how I was going to say that, but you said it very well. So yes, weird crime.
Growing up in Connecticut was a strange experience.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It was very different. But I've said this to a lot of people on podcasts before, where it's like, I think the best thing that our parents did was get us out of Connecticut to see other things in the world. And if it was a nice vacation, awesome. If it was for something else and like, hey, a different part of the world, great.
Yeah.
Like we were always, safe. But it was not a point where it was like, this is the world, bubble, this is the path you have to follow, which you and I both know that so many of our friends.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to say had to, but it was so well laid out for them that they felt like an idiot if they didn't.
There wasn't any other option.
No, I mean, for you and I, we were the outliers.
Oh yeah, we still are.
That's fair.
We've never not been the outliers.
Yeah, which is bizarre to me.
Yeah, it is bizarre. Do you think they still would have done that if we had stayed in California?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay.
I really do. I think we grew up in a pair of bubbles.
Oh yes.
Right. So, but it was the fact of like, if we stayed in California, I think the the opportunity to go see other things would have been a little different. It wouldn't been as maybe European heavy. It might have been more like, Arizona or New Mexico or Utah, a little closer in that space. But no, I still think that they would have got us out of Palo Alto.
Yeah. Even though mom grew up there.
100%.
Yeah.
And that would have been home, but it's just like New Canaan. We didn't have a spot where it's like, hey, we have to go here because of this reason, or we have to stay here for that reason. It was, no, like, this is cool. This is safe. This is an amazing place to grow up, but we're good.
Interesting.
So I think so.
Yeah. Along those lines, if like all of our family trips, because we've taken many.
Yeah.
Is there like one that's your favorite?
Not really.
Or like a specific like.
Not really. I mean, I think I'm appreciating them more as the older we get and like we get to go do it together.
Yeah.
And I know they're becoming far few and less between, and like the space difference. Like the last one we took together was England for mom's birthday.
Yeah.
Like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah. And it was only like 3 days we were both there at the same time.
Right. But I think I'm appreciating them more now. But that being said, I mean, there's moments of all of them that I look back on very fondly. And there's not one that was like, this was the ultimate Mecca trip.
No.
Like this was the experience of all. It was, it was the farmhouse in France. It was like in the middle of
literally nowhere.
It was.
I still don't know how mom found those houses. Pre-internet. I mean, we had the internet, but like
pre-Airbnb.
You weren't going online to find a house. Like she had like a catalog of rental homes.
Yeah, I
have no idea.
No idea either. And that's where it's like no Airbnb. I mean, across the, like it wasn't even on like TripAdvisor.
No.
Nope. Incredible moments in Scotland, obviously moments in England. But then it's like there's moments in California where we like traveled back, or it's like, going to Sun Valley. It's like those are those things for me where it's like those moments stand out compared to like this was the best frickin' trip ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's my answer. How about that?
That's a good answer.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I think I agree.
We'll see how Connie weighs in on that.
Oh God.
She'll have words. She'll have feelings in a positive way, but she'll have feelings.
She always does. I love you, Mom. Okay, so we're gonna move on from that.
Let's go.
What purchase of $200 or less has most positively impacted your life in the last 6 months?
Steam room.
Oh gosh, I could have guessed that.
Steam room, no question about it. Like without a doubt. It's unbelievable. It's a portable steam room that sits in my garage. I have now also one in my living room of my Las Vegas apartment. It's right now it's actually over $200, so it's right on the border. But when I first got it, it was under $200, so I classify that. But portable steam room, best thing that's ever happened to me, and yeah, no question about it.
Okay, along those lines, because you're an interesting type of person.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You are a very routine. Oh, just no more pillow. Oh. Okay, go for the side. You're a very routine person. What is your steam room routine?
Okay. Well, when I get in it, or like to lead up to it?
All of the above.
Okay, so I would say then at that point it goes back to my morning routine.
Yes.
So my morning routine is that I'm up between the hours of 4 a.m. and 4:15. At that point, most people roll their eyes when I say that. And I am not an advocate for saying, get up, get up, get up. It's more of like, that's what's right for me and like what I need. So if it's 7 o'clock, get up at 7, like whatever it is. But for me, it's I get up at 4, and my alarm is set between 3:58 and 4:01, depending. So it doesn't actually land on the 5-minute mark because of the snooze aspect. So they'll never overlap with the first snooze will never overlap with the second alarm, which then screws you, right? We've all been caught there. I'm sorry, but like I've beat the system there. So it's a 3-minute window. Then you get literally if you snooze twice, it's still the 5 minutes and you're up. You're good. So anyways, 3:58, 4:01, all that kind of stuff. I get up, immediately go for the fridge for 20 ounces of water.
And like you immediately get out of bed?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I might take like a stretch if I had like a little, but like I'll get out of bed within I'll get out of bed within 10 minutes. Without a bed in 10 minutes. Like there might be a moment where I check an email or like somebody texts me because I go to bed pretty early. So I might just like quickly respond to something or read it. And then at that point I'm up.
This is proof that like no matter how you grow up, you're going to be different people, because this sounds like absolute torture to me.
Why don't you try it? And I'm not saying, okay, here's the kicker. I'm not saying get up at 4. I'm saying get up like an hour early, but like then get up. Like, don't lay in bed
I know.
and flip through Instagram. Like, just get up.
I love bed.
I do too, but I'm in bed at 9 p.m. every night.
Honestly, the more and more I'm in bed before 9 p.m. I'm not asleep, but I am in bed.
See, I'm asleep at 9 p.m.
Crazy. Man.
Well, I'm asleep by 9:02. Anyway, so back to my morning routine. So I'm up 20 ounces of water first thing. Then at that point, put the coffee on and have a small snack. And I do all that within the first like 15 minutes that I'm actually like my feet are on the ground. So I'll have 40 ounces of water, cup of coffee, and a snack probably before 4:30, 4:45. And then in that 4:20 to 5 a.m. spot, oddly enough, I actually play Call of Duty online. So I open it up and I play usually two or three games of Warzone. And then I'm actually awake. I'm energized. My brain has started to fire. And what I've recognized is then going into the gym at 5, I'm more prepared to walk into the gym if I just sat there and wrote emails or sat there and watched TV or whatever. Like, I'm actually awake and I'm already moving. Now at that point, 5 o'clock hits. I'm usually in the gym between 5 and 5:45. 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 20-minute workout, and then I'm in the steam room for 10 to 15, and then out of the steam room, cold shower, and I'm off and rocking. But the biggest thing of what I tell people and like what I believe in is that, so I do a daily checkout and a daily check-in for like qualitative and quantitative data. In that space, the first question I ask myself every single day is, did I make the first decision what is best for me? So if it's to get in the gym, that's what's best for me. I believe that. If it's to sit on my butt and watch a movie for 2 hours, that's great, and it's my decision. So when about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning hits, people need me. Susanna needs me. I need to take Bella out. I need to work. I have emails to respond to. Whatever it is, people need me. And then I'm on until 9 p.m. when I crash and go to bed. But in that morning, between 4 and about 6:30, no one needs me. So it's to be selfless for throughout the rest of my day. I have to be selfish in the morning to prepare myself to be selfless. And that's where like this routine has really started. So it's the only time of the day that I can like be very selfish with my time. Of if it's I want to play Call of Duty for 2 hours, I'll play Call of Duty for 2 hours. If I want to get in the gym or go for a 10-mile run, I'll go in the gym and get a 10-mile run in. Or if I want to go back to bed, I'll go back to bed. But it's all a matter of setting myself up to be the best version of myself for everyone else around me, which then at that point, I think it's one of the reasons that like we are here and we have the culture we have at the company. Because if it was all about me, then like we're not people driven. We're Duncan driven, and we're not. I mean, I don't think we're Duncan driven. I have the least control of my schedule at anybody.
That's true. That's very true.
And I'm thrilled at that. It's not like I'm proud of that. It's just we built a company the right way, I think, for the right reasons, with the right people, and we're people driven. So like for that, I'm good not having control of my schedule. But I have control of my schedule from 4 in the morning till 6:30. And like that's blocked.
Yeah.
No one can touch it. And usually from like 7 o'clock on at PM. So it's I'm available 12 hours a day to anyone in my team or anyone outside too.
Yep. Well, I still think you're a little bit insane, but I understand it.
It's fine. Totally okay.
Yeah.
But if my routine started 2 hours later, no one would call me crazy. So like that's the funny thing about this. Okay? So if I said, hey, like, I wake up at 7.
If you switched it from like you wake up at 7 and you go to bed at 11, which is like a typical schedule.
No one would call me crazy. What's the difference?
No, not much.
I just do it 7 days a week. Saturday, Sunday, I sleep till like 5 a.m. But then I get up and I have my days just, I get an extra hour of sleep, but then like my day starts at 7:30 instead of 6:30. And I'm good with that. Because like, I mean, Susanna sleeps till 8, she'll sleep till 10 a.m. on a Saturday if she wants to. But like on average, she'll sleep till 7 or 8. And like, that's fine.
Yep. Yeah. She still is an early enough riser.
Yeah. But again, I mean, if everything shifts back 2 hours, people don't call you crazy. So what's the difference? I get 7 hours of sleep every single night without fail. It's pretty darn good.
It's not bad.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. What is the biggest pivot of your life? I think we've talked about this quite a bit on the podcast. Is there another one other than changing from golf? Is there something else that like shifted everything?
I mean, I would say the only other like pivot in like the world that I'm in today would be the conversation I had with the financial team when we were raising capital at a startup. So when I really, I know I've talked about this in a couple different scenarios, but I was a part of a company. I was the fourth member into a startup here in Charlotte, and I'm trying to think of how long I was a part of it. I was about 6-7 months in, and I came in as the CMO. And this was probably 4 or 5 years ago now. And so what happened was I was a part-time CMO, like 20 hours commitment a week, growing a team. It was a tech stack. It was a really great platform built in hospitality, just an awesome product. And so what we did was we went out for a round of capital for a pre-seed round, and we were raising we were going after 1.2 to 2 million on the pre-seed, which then at that point for the seed or the Series A, we would have, again, typical, we would have been 5 to 10 million. But anyways, so we had a team come in that was going to do 1.5 million investment. And where it pivoted was that I was the marketing guy. So we sat down, the 4 co-founders, 4 first people in, were always in rooms with like the head of the firm and the managing CFO. Nobody else a part of the firm we met with just the 2 people. And so right before we were raising the 1.5, we had this big long table. And one of the guys looks at me and calls me out. And he goes, Duncan, do you know why we're investing into the company? And I looked at him and I was like, well, we have a good product. People know about us. And like we're working it to be great because like we believe in where the market's going in this world we're talking about. Plus, like we have the vision to evolve. And he's like, that's not it. And I was like, and my CEO is like giving me a fist pump under the table. He's like, great answer. And sure enough, he was like, that's not it. And so I was like, okay, do you want to give me a little more context? And he goes, well, it's because you have sales. And my response was, yes, because it's a good product and people know about us and people are willing to invest into the product and like use it as we're solving a problem. And he goes, that's not it either. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, but like we're going to play round 3 on this. Like, do you mind giving me a little more context? He went on for about 5 minutes, spun circles and never landed his plane. And when he stopped, we all thought he was going to keep talking because he never landed his point. At that moment, I was only marketing to VCs. I was only marketing to the person who didn't understand marketing because he was not connecting marketing to sales. He was just saying that we had sales. We have dollars coming in as a startup. That doesn't happen. He didn't realize my job was important. He thought my job was insignificant.
Because your job was the reason you had sales.
No, not all of it. Because we also had a good product.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so we had the full package. Mm-hmm. We had the full package. But now if you took my arm off it, do less people know about it? Probably. But do people still invest into it because the people didn't? Yeah, probably. But
it all is interconnected.
Correct. So at that moment, bell rung every single which way to say, I'm doing the wrong thing. I need to go tell stories to help people. And again, to everybody. Mom and pop cookie company that wants to go from 1 location to 2, I'm in. Fortune 100 company, tell the story about how to make their employees more safe. I'm in. Doesn't matter. I was so tired of just talking VC to VC to VC to CEO just to raise a little more money. I wanted to make an impact. Mm-hmm. And yes, did I believe that product could make an impact? Sure. But it's like, could it really? Maybe not. And I believe the Littlefield company is on that trajectory to make the impact. And that was a big pivot for me because I left a CMO $1.5 million company behind me, or raised $1.5 million. And now they've raised a ton more, which is great. They're doing phenomenal. But yeah, that's how I started the Littlefield company. That was, I think, like October-ish of 2017.
When we all thought you were so crazy.
Well, I mean, I think you still think I'm crazy.
Well, I still think you're crazy.
There you go. So like, I mean, yeah.
But for a very long time, I was like, I don't really know what Duncan does. Sometimes I still don't.
I was gonna ask, what is the conversation we had yesterday?
I think I have a better understanding of what you do on a day-to-day, but half the time I'm like, I don't know. He's in a meeting somewhere. It's fine.
It's true. I just talk.
You do talk.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's your favorite movie?
Great question.
Thank you.
I'm going to have the perfectly politically correct answer here.
I'm excited.
The next one that we make. Ooh, I know. That's a good one.
So gross.
But pulling it back, I would say Ben Stiller's Walter Mitty is the top. I mean,
Really?
yeah, it's an exceptional story. I'm a big Ben Stiller fan.
Always have been.
It's shot well. It brings you out. It's like it pulls you along. It's still a love story, but it's like it's multiple different love stories attached to it with adventure. And then I don't know. It's my movie. I really like it.
I don't know what I was expecting you to say. It wasn't that.
Like the puzzle pieces in it with like the photos going along the way, and then at that point it's the cake. I don't know. It's just like the warlords are in there. They play soccer on the end. I don't know. It's phenomenal. It's great.
Is there a movie from like our childhood that like impacted you?
Yeah, all of them.
Well, yeah. Our parents did a very good job of educating us in film.
We didn't watch the bad movies.
No.
We watched the good movies a lot.
Yeah.
A
lot.
I mean, it was Hook. It was The Goonies. Like the absolute classics of what we're all like. I mean, again, right now we have somebody sitting in this room who's never seen Old School, which kills me. Like
fire him.
No, I'm not.
Immediately.
No, he's a beautiful.
I'm
human
assuming
being.
it's the young one.
Oh, it's definitely not Tim. Yeah, Tim's definitely seen it. But like Alan and I had this like very deep conversation where it was like, have you seen this? And he was like, nope. And I was like, have you seen this? And he was like, nope. And I was like, have you seen this? He's like, oh yeah, I did see that one. That was good. But it's like, I mean,
okay, so is there a movie that's not like Citizen Kane that you think every single person should have seen?
Oh, now that's a good one.
Yeah, like not like the
I mean,
Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, Norm. I'm not even gonna like pull like Shawshank Redemption into that,
No.
right? Like
Flintstones Go to Vegas. I don't know.
I don't know. There's so many.
Many.
Like I think the one we talked about 2 days ago. Like Forgetting Sarah Marshall is just an
Classic.
I mean, man. Like there's so like even I Love You Man. There's so many great quotes out of I Love You Man that just get overlooked. Or like Couples Retreat.
See, I don't love Couples Retreat.
I know my truth. See, it's a great line. It's a great line. But I don't know. I think one of the ones that I would like probably call out is like, I know it's going to sound like very strange, but like a Coach Carter is a great movie with a great message, shot well. It's like it brings everything into it. Like it's at times aggressive. It's really emotional. It's persevering. I don't know. I think Coach Carter is like one of those ones where like I would sit back and have everyone watch.
Is there a movie that like you're excited to show your kids one day?
Oh yeah. I mean, like talk about like Mighty Ducks #1.
I knew it was gonna be Mighty Ducks.
Right? Like talk about Ninja Turtles. And like
the original live action from the 90s, they look terrifying.
No question.
It's
like,
the best.
But I mean, you even talk about like, Good Will Hunting, right? Like Mrs. Doubtfire. And like, I know we're going Robin Williams into this like Hook, like Mrs. Doubtfire, but like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Or like old school James Bond movies. Yeah. Like there's like, my kids are going to have a very serious list to go through. And like
we did as kids.
Of course.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. We had the Hitchcock year.
Oh, we did. That's right.
It was a good year.
That was a good year.
Once a month we watched a new Hitchcock.
I mean, the real big question
and I was probably like 9 and you were 11 or something.
Yeah, the real big question is how we're going to watch Star Wars. In what order? I know it's a big debate in this world, but I think I have to go with the chronological route of how they were released.
Oh, like originals.
Yep. 4, 5,
70s
6.
first.
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 8, 9. Or 7, 8, 9.
Last year, I did all of Marvel chronologically, not as they were released, but like in time order.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which was fascinating. I haven't rewatched.
You went that route.
Oh yeah, I started with Captain America, and then kept going.
When did you get to Iron Man, the first one? How many in is it?
Iron Man's probably like 10. No, earlier than that.
I mean, that's a shock because I remember being blown away. Because original Iron Man came out in like 2006.
Something like that.
And like I was jaw hit the floor in the movie theater for the first time in a long time watching that movie. Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember you coming back and being like, you have to go see this. And I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah, no, like that one I like
I'm gonna
walked
go see
out.
Another
I was like,
rom-com.
holy crap, that was unbelievable. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a good one. For movie theaters, that's a good one. I mean, but even like you look at Avatar.
Oh,
it's like,
gosh. Remember that.
right. Like that was, that was massive.
Mm-hmm.
And a good storyline.
The new Spider-Man just outranked it.
Still haven't seen it.
You still haven't seen any of the Tom Hollands.
Nope.
Devastating.
I mean, think about Spider-Man when I grew up.
I know.
Tobey
We are
Maguire.
Toby kids.
I was Toby kid.
So good. No, but Tom Holland, you should
I think Spider-Man, I think Toby.
always.
Yep.
Then I will not spoil what happens in the most recent Spider-Man.
Don't you dare.
No. I'll just say this. For a Toby kid, watch all of the Tom Holland ones.
I've heard that. All right, that doesn't spoil anything.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, guys. No spoilers.
What's the best advice you've ever received? And the worst?
I've said this before. One of my favorite quotes is, just because you can carry the weight doesn't mean it's fucking heavy. Excuse my French for all listeners out there, but it just doesn't mean it's not heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's still heavy. And some of the best advice I got was that, like, yeah, the crazy ones are the crazy ones until they figure it out. And then they're geniuses.
I like that one. That makes a lot of sense.
Look at all the geniuses in the world, and for a long time they were crazy.
Yeah.
They were isolated. They were in their own space. They told it was never going to happen. No. Like, I mean, again, you look at startups and it's saying how many people have said no to pitches for so long, and then Airbnb went through how many misses?
Yeah.
How many people passed on Airbnb? How many people passed on Uber? Right? Oh, it's not going to be it. Like, cabs are always going to be there, or whatever. So it's like they're crazy until it lands, and then they're geniuses, and they're the next thing. So, like, you're crazy until you pull it off.
Do you consider yourself an artist?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I would say that my business is creativity.
Okay.
Because it's funny because the game of golf is a very creative game that no one gives it credit for being creative. Because you have to shape shots. You have to see things differently. Right? So it's like, all right, you hit a flop shot over a tree, or do you bump it under it? And so it's creative. You're shaping shots. You're shaping this. You're seeing this shot around a tree. And it's like, all right, how high do I want to hit it? Like, you see this before it happens. So it's arguably like a painter walking up to a canvas and being blank. But they know they have a brush and 4 colors. Or they know they have a can of spray paint and a brush and 74 colors. It's just like the game of golf. It's the blank canvases in front of you, but you know what you have to try to achieve. But then it's also a business where you're risking, or you're weighing pro and con. Risk versus reward. Do I hit it over this? I pull it off 1 to 10 times. If I pull it off, I make birdie. If I miss it, I'm looking at double. I gotta look at that. So for me now, when I went into being a photographer, like, I captured moments. I didn't create it. Like, I was never the photographer who went in and said, like, put this thing here and put that thing there, and then all right, this is the vision in my head and I'm pulling it off. I was the guy sitting on the walls and just capturing moments. So I don't think I'm an artist. I just think my business is creativity. And my business is storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I'm an artist.
If, say, like, our family weren't golfers.
Okay.
If a club was not put in your hand when you were less than 2 years old, how do you think your life would have gone? If, like, those outside influences hadn't been part of it?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, it wasn't really golf until I was 8th grade, high school.
Yeah.
So it was all sports. Like, it was running around in the yard, like, making up games. Like, it was always a creative space for us to live in. And so I don't know where my life would have gone. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, coulda, shoulda, woulda. It's just not me. So I don't know where it would have gone. And I don't know what I would have done. I don't know how it would have turned out. But I'm pretty happy that where I am. So I don't know, and I don't really care.
We had that conversation recently. You don't think about, like, if I had done this,
no,
how would my life be?
Absolutely not. Like, people ask me all the time as the business owner, it's like, what would you have changed if COVID came around now? Like, or if, like, you knew the information about COVID, and I would have said I would have done nothing different.
Yep.
Because that's the information I had at the time. Now, if COVID hit, like, now, and we went lockdown now, I would make different decisions. because we've now gone through it. But COVID was something that no one in the world's ever gone through. So I made the best decision for what I had the information on, and I'm very happy with it. Would I have done things different? No, I don't think I could have. Because I made the best decisions for the company, for the people in it, and the culture we had. And yeah, were some of them wrong? Probably. Probably. But that's okay. I'm not kicking myself over it. I can't. Because I made the best decision with the information I had. And I can sleep very well at night knowing I did that. Where it's I wouldn't have changed anything. Now, if it hit again, I would have a different scenario, but we have information.
If tomorrow we went back into lockdown.
We have way more information about it. Way more information about it. So yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. So yeah, nothing in the past. It's future. It's now. I don't care what happened yesterday. Doesn't shake me.
Interesting. So what's your favorite thing about working with your sister?
Great question. I've been literally waiting for this to get teed up.
What's your favorite thing about me?
Corinne, it's funny because, okay, hold on. You just asked another question.
I asked two different questions.
You asked two questions in that space.
Respond how you wish.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's well done. Corinne, I've been trying to have you, and again, this is not going to be me preaching or saying that no, we're not going there because nope. But I think for how many times you and I talked about my golf career versus your theater career, and how many times you said I'm almost ready to throw the towel in. I don't know, yada yada yada. And I also I don't want to say I supported you to keep going, but I think I showed you that it was an option. That I don't want to say you would regret would have crept in, but I just wanted to make sure you saw that. And there's so many people that have seen the talent and the ability and the human being that you are for so long, waiting for that moment to find that sweet spot. Who knew what it was going to be? If it was going to be theater, if it was going to be a choreographer, if it was going to be a professor, if it was going to be a producer, if it was going to be whatever, we're all waiting for that sweet spot for you to kind of find your pocket. And I think the only thing I would say, the best thing about it is that I think you're getting closer to your pocket. Even if producer or business manager or whatever you do on a daily basis isn't it, I think you're getting closer to finding the pocket. And that is my favorite thing about working with you. Because watching how you work and the investment you're putting into it, not just because it's your big brother's company, but it's actually that you care about what we're doing and care about how you do it. That's why caring how about you do it. Not how what my expectation is for you. Care about how you do it is really amazing and rewarding because that means you're evolving and you're finding the next step to find your pocket. Even if it's not at the Littlefield company, even if it's not at Littlefield Films or studios or whatever else we spin up and whatever else we create in the future, right? But I think the best and the coolest and the most rewarding thing I've seen is that you're getting closer to that pocket or that aisle that will hopefully make you happy for the rest of your life.
Well, hey, thanks. That was nice. So what's your least favorite thing about working with me?
Least favorite thing is... Oh, I know what my least favorite thing is. My least favorite thing is that you have blackmail that no one else in this company has. That's my least favorite thing because...
Oh, I got some aces up my sleeve.
I know. And it's terrifying.
But so do you on me.
You think I'm going to use them?
You think I'm going to use them?
You have. Yep. Your education. See, there we go. So... They weren't bad.
That was great, though.
No. It was perfect, and I loved every second of it. I laughed my ass off the whole time. But
thank you.
What I'm saying is that you think I'm going to use it against you? No chance. No chance. There's some great ones that potentially Connie and Larry will bring up one day, but it's not going to be me. But that is the least thing.
Yeah, it's true. If anyone's going to come rat me out, it's going to be our parents walking into this office and being like, "Oh, this reminds me of when Corinne did this thing." I'm just like, "Shut up."
Yeah.
Shut up.
That's it.
We don't need to talk about...
That's exactly what it is.
That thing?
It's not going to be me.
No.
So, yeah, that's the least thing. Because knowing that you have that over me is... it's eggshells. Because, at any point, you can just turn the switch and have everybody look at me a different way. Because of, how mom dressed me when I was 6.
Oh, God, no. I mean...
I know. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a cute kid. I know it.
Oh,
I don't know what happened after that, but I was a cute kid.
We both peaked in 1997. I was 6, you were 8. We were cute. We were precocious.
That's a good point.
We're both on paths. We were fun, but we could talk to adults. That was our best year.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know what happened after for me.
We were crushing it in 97.
It was a good year.
Yeah.
It was a good year.
It was a great year. I guess we should have talked before I started working for you. Hey, what are the things I am not allowed to say?
Nothing. Again, whatever you want. I mean, I am an open book, especially with, again, you've seen it. It's like, there's no question that's off limits here.
Yeah.
And there shouldn't be. Like, we're a people-driven first business. There shouldn't be a question off limits. Just because someone's got a title, it's like, no, you're still a human being. Mm-hmm. I still have insecurities and problems like everybody else.
You're not a robot?
Well, you did call me crazy a couple times during this podcast. But crazy now, genius maybe later? I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
We will see. We'll have a great time figuring it out.
What else do I want to ask you from this long list?
I don't know.
What legacy do you want to leave? And maybe not professionally, but like as a human, as a person.
I don't know. Like, being very, very real about it. It's, I got goals and I got aspirations of like what I want to be able to achieve and what I want to leave behind. But I don't know.
Is it important to you to leave something behind?
Yeah, it is. But I don't know what it is yet. Like, I actually don't know what it is yet. And I'm not trying to figure it out. I think it's going to come to me. And I think there's going to be like this, like all of a sudden, like, the skies open up and it's like, Dunc, go that way. And I hope I'm smart enough to listen to that. But I don't really have something that I'm like, I want to be known for this. Like, yeah, professionally, like, cool. Like, is my goal pretty audacious? Yeah. And I believe we're laying the foundation for me to be able to achieve that. But I want to be, I guess, known for someone who gave a shit about like whatever they did. It was all in or nothing. It was people first, cared about what we're doing as a business, cared about what we're doing, what they do as a human being. And I know it's kind of on the professional side, but then on the personal side, like, I think the one thing that I want my future kids to like have, and if I don't do this, I think I've missed the mark for me personally, is that I want my kids to be obsessed with something. I want my kids to feel obsession. And like whatever they do, if they are obsessed about whatever job or the person that they're dating or who they are as people, if they're obsessed with that, they have the world at their fingertips. And I think that's what I really want to pass on, is like being obsessed with something is really cool. Mm-hmm. It's waking up at 4 a.m. and being able to pop out of bed. Yeah. Because I have purpose. I got a goal.
And I do think that's something our parents did a pretty good job at.
Yeah. Mom and dad always valued effort over the victory. Mm-hmm. Like effort, if all in effort was given, that was the victory.
Yeah.
And for that, like, I am so thankful. And it's like, because yeah, like it was celebrated on a victory. It was not celebrated on a victory when you half-assed it. Mm-hmm. And it was all effort in and finishing 8th. It was a victory, not a participation ribbon, but it was a victory in our household.
Yes.
And it was celebrated.
Yeah.
And it was talked about. And it was not like picked apart, but it was communicated around that was the right way to go about anything. It doesn't matter where you finish. You gave it all. Like, you put everything on the table and you did it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what I want to pass to my kids or anybody else. It's like, you find what you're obsessed with, that like live, breathe, eat, sleep it, and like love it, mm-hmm. and want to get better at it and want to commit to it and want to push forward the boundaries of like what's possible. Like, even in like as business, right? Like, it's the old expression of like, that's the way it is, doesn't work here. You've seen it now. Like, it just doesn't work here. It's why? Challenge it. But if you're obsessed with it, you're going to challenge it. It's a video becoming 10% better because you're going to challenge the why. You're going to challenge it. And that's obsession, making it better. And like, for me, I want people to be obsessed with something. Like, I want you to be obsessed with something. Mm-hmm. in this room, I want Alan to be obsessed with something. I want Tim to be obsessed with something, right? I'm obsessed with something. I'm pretty darn happy that I am. Yeah, it causes a lot of unique feelings and like variations of feelings, but like at the end of the day, like I'm pretty pumped and like I'm good with it. So like I know where it's coming from, and if people don't like it, then like okay, so sorry, like but I'm good.
Well, we're almost 40 minutes in, so before we wrap up, is there anything you want to ask me? Since I am also in the hot seat right now, in a way,
it's a great question.
You have me trapped.
Well, technically we are trapped because our garage door has broken.
Yeah.
Since we started
shooting
this.
This is also the first podcast in our new studio.
Oh, that's right. Not the first shoot in the studio, but the first pod in the studio.
First podcast in the studio.
What a day.
Wow.
Look at us.
Look
Who
at
would
us.
have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Question for you. It's so easy of like, what's your favorite thing to work with me, Ron, right? Like, but I would ask the question of what surprised you when coming to work at the Littlefield company?
Oh, gosh.
Not like what's your favorite thing, but like what surprised you of like, hey, I didn't expect it to be this way. In like, you could talk about like the company as a whole, or you could talk about me as whatever. I the dum-dum at the top or whatever.
You are the dum-dum at the top. I think one of the biggest things that not surprised me, because it didn't surprise me, or this has been like for the past couple years, I'm like, oh, people want to work for you.
I don't know why.
Same. I mean, now I'm one of them. But hearing other people talk about you has been very interesting. And not even just like our coworkers, but like I just got off a call with a potential partnership, and most people don't know I'm your sister until we get to the point where it's like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm Duncan's sister. So like I have a little more insight, unless they like see like, oh, Littlefields at the end of the name. That's a little weird.
I know. Everybody asks me if you're related or wife.
Yeah. But
I get that question a lot.
Mm-hmm. But that's always one of the things where I'm like, oh, not that I'm surprised that people like want to work with you, but it is just like a moment. That has been fun.
There's the moment.
I do think we officially have to change my name in your phone, though.
See, we talked about this when we first started.
I know.
I know.
So my childhood nickname was Rinny.
Rinne.
I always put up with an IE at the end. Literally always IE at the end.
No.
You are the only one who puts an E at the end.
And I am correct. And I am right.
Mom puts it with an IE at the end.
I am right.
But so when you write an email from your phone, particularly, it'll pop up in the subject line or like contact line as Rinny.
Oh, it still does that?
It still does that. And the other day, a client responded and said, "Hi, Chelsea, Mike, and Rinny."
Get out of here.
But it was someone that was like, it was fine.
Okay.
So I do.
Okay.
Sadly.
It is officially changed.
Yeah.
Consider that officially changed. That is going to be devastating. Or we just get you a company phone, and then that's, and then I can keep the two contacts
Corinne,
separate.
We got Rinny. I mean, you're still Dunc in my phone.
Yeah, whatever.
Always.
Okay. Changed. Mm-hmm. Consider it changed. Any other questions for you? Great question. Currently, in the life that you're living, do you? No, I don't want to ask that. That's
gosh.
like.
Well, now I feel like you have to.
No. I was going to ask like, are you happy?
Oh, yeah.
And I know that's like so many different variations and variables are attached to that. So like, I almost want to like pull that back a little bit, and it's like, so from that, I'm going to give context of like where I'm coming from. It's like, okay. I have seen you like I have. We've moved around a lot, like in our professional careers of like, we've chased a lot of things, like we've moved around, but like we've settled in Charlotte. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, I've seen you go from like, dance kid to like actress to like now like a mountain girl, like, and again, it's like across the board, but it's like for like where you are right now, like, are you good?
I think I'm as good as I can be.
Great.
Yeah, I think I'm as good as I can be. Going back to like what you were talking about earlier, which is something we've talked about, I don't know what like my next goal is. And it's been a very strange transition, not being like, I'm done with theater. But since I was 2, I was a ballet dancer. And all I ever knew was that path. And it's a very weird, it's the first time in my life I haven't had a path. And it's very strange. Cool. And I don't love it. But I'm trying to figure out what the new path is. Because until COVID, I was theater, singer, dancer, choreographer. That's the only world I've ever known. And it's very weird not having like a, hey, that's at some point I'm going to be back on stage. At some point I will be back on stage. We can't leave this talent behind. But
no, I'm with you.
Yeah, so I think for the fact that I don't know, and also I will not reveal my age, but by this point, I thought like I would be at like 5 different trajectories of what I thought I'd be by the time I turned this age, none of which are true. And that's okay. But it's making me, in the last couple of months, really rethink where I think like the next 10 years will be.
Cool.
Terrifying.
Absolutely. 100% terrifying.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. But cool.
Yeah. So I think I'm as good as I can be for that.
Great.
Yeah. And I'm, not a bad place to come to work every day until I figure it out.
No, and I mean, you're at a place where people adore you.
Thanks, guys.
I mean, it's true. I mean, like, again, like, I mean, it's nice that I also adore you, so that's good.
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't like me, I wouldn't be here.
True.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the big things when I first talked to the team after we were like, okay, maybe this is the time Corinne actually will start working.
Yep.
The biggest question was like, are you going to be okay working with your brother every day? And I was like, yeah, I already know he's a shithead. So like, I'm good.
Captain Shithead to you.
It was like I was like, honestly, you have now a lifeline into like, no, he's just having a day.
I don't have many days, but when I have a day.
No, you don't have many.
But I'm human. I have like one a month.
Yeah. Probably.
Maybe,
no.
5-6 weeks. Maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. You tell me.
Unlike me, where it's like every Thursday at noon when the crow flies over, Corinne turns into a witch.
Is that what happens? That's
like
what your block on the calendar's for?
Yeah. That transition.
Got it. All right. Well, now we know. Now we know. We just won't put you on set during that time. And yeah.
Oh, no. She's a professional through and through.
Incredible. All right. Well, then I know we have meetings to tend to. I'm also 15 minutes late to a meeting, so like that's cool. But Corinne, thanks for being here today. Thank you for being the first official podcast in the new studio.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And well, guys, on that note, this was Duncan To Go with Corinne Littlefield. Age left out. So, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you on the next pod.